Hi, it's Tracy from Transforming Me. I just wanted to do this little video today just to give you an overview of the 200 Acre Framework. So hopefully you're already signed up and you're committed. If you're thinking about joining me, then this will also be useful for you. So today, the information I'm going to share with you should help you to understand what the 200 Acre Framework is. So it's a personal transformation program, and it's personal for a reason. It's personal to me, and it's going to be personal for you because I am going to help you transform. So it's a journey, okay? This is the way I like to describe it to my clients. It's a journey that we're going to take. It's a journey that we're going to take together. The important thing for me with the framework is that I'm actually going to support you. It's really, really important whenever there's change or there's problems with things like anxiety that you get the right support. So this is all about me supporting you. It's actually a hybrid, okay? It's a hybrid package of training, coaching and therapy. Now I've got all those three skills, and the beauty is that I can deliver all of those things to you throughout the course of our time together. So I just want to bring some information to you that's going to help you understand why I've called it the 200 Acre Framework. Now it might sound a bit strange, but it's a name that's being given to a group of activities, things like training, coaching and therapy activities that are actually going to help you to transform. So when I was going through some hard times, when I went through a period of depression and anxiety, I realised that I had to change. I knew that truly things weren't going well for me. And it was through that change process, and it was through my own transformation, that I actually came up with the idea of teaching, training and giving therapy to people that are also going through the same issues. The 200 Acre Framework is like a metaphor. It describes how, for me, our mind really just is a bit unknown. So there's a little bit of a backstory to why it's called the 200 Acre Framework, and I will tell you about this. After I'd been to the doctors and I'd been diagnosed with anxiety and depression, I was put on some medication, and our very first holiday was down in Cornwall. It was a beautiful place, and we went to visit this garden. Now you can go and visit this garden, it's still there today, and it's called the Lost Gardens of Heligan. And when I was in that garden on holiday, not long after I'd been put on medication, I found that by being out in the garden, by being outside, I actually started to feel a little bit better. What it was that I realised about myself is that I had actually been denying myself getting outside and being in nature. Ironically, looking back now, some of the issues that had impacted on the fear and the anxiety that I'd experienced actually also came from times in the garden when I was a child. So as a child I had an accident in the garden. It was a fall, and it actually damaged my front teeth. And from there, there's a whole story which I'll tell you about when you work with me a little bit more, about how I then built in a fear of the dentist, and how my body actually then was having physical reactions. Every time I was going to the dentist, my body was physically having experiences of anxiety. So I know that the body changes. I know that the body changes when we go through fear. And that's the thing I want to teach you about. Because whether you're struggling with anxiety or fear or panic, or whether it's just an underlying feeling of being unsettled, or whether it's a thought that you can't do something, or a disbelief in how you can get to improve yourself, all of these things are absolutely changeable with personal transformation. And it's all the information that I've learned, all of the information that I've paid for, all of the information that I've gone and sourced, and all the help that I've got, that I'm also going to share with you in this journey. Okay, so this is really important that you understand how we're actually going to do this. As I've already mentioned, we're going to be doing some training. We absolutely need to do some training. I needed to learn about all sorts of things. I needed to learn how the mind works. I need to learn how the mind creates and stores our memories. I needed to learn how my body was actually working, how the physical reactions in my body of fear and panic and dis-ease were all being created. I need to learn how they were happening so that I could stop them. And that's the important thing in this. So we absolutely need to do some training. The other thing that's really important for me is that we also do that bit of therapy. Now, therapy was something that really helped me. It was a thing that I just needed to go through. And many people can get a little bit scared, or they think they don't need therapy. Well, the therapy piece is about looking at the past. And what you'll realise in this journey is that you need to tackle the past, the present, and the future. Many people go into therapy and they think that therapy will cure them. And it does help in some cases. But the problem is, if you don't create a better future for yourself, if you don't change the habits that you're currently doing, the thoughts that you're currently having, all you're going to do is actually recreate the same problems from the past. So yes, we're going to do some therapy. Yes, we're going to look at those memories, those thoughts, those issues. Maybe there's trauma there. Maybe there's just school issues. Sometimes my clients come to me and they've had issues at school where they've been made to feel not good enough, where they've been made to feel that something isn't available to them. The therapy really, really helps with this. And the way I do therapy is I do hypnotherapy. Now, whether you've been hypnotised before or not, it is a really safe and it's a beautiful process. It's really relaxed, and that's what I'm going to do with you. I'm going to get you so relaxed, and I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and you're going to talk through some of the issues and the problems, and I'm going to guide you. I'm here to guide you. Your mind knows exactly what it needs to share, and I'll ask you some questions, and that in itself is going to help free you. Because you're going to have understanding. You're going to understand how the past is creating the problems that you've got today. So the therapy is there to help you deal with the past. It's an important part of Transforming Me. It's not always the part that we do right at the start. That's something that I will decide and we will agree together when we're going to do it. The next bit, obviously, as I've talked about, is the training, is making sure that the actions you're taking today, the things that you're going through, your behaviours, your thought patterns are working for you. And we're going to look in some detail at the sorts of things that are going on for you today. One of the exercises I am going to give people, and I've got an example here, is I'm going to get you to start doing some journaling, okay? Having a journal is really, really helpful. I found that when I was able to take the thoughts out of my head and start writing things down, it really helped me to witness what my mind was doing. So that's one of the activities we're going to be doing. The other thing is I'm going to give you some coaching. Now, coaching is a different style. Coaching isn't about me directing you. Coaching is about allowing you to make the decisions and just gently bringing you round to making the best decisions for you for the future. Coaching is a really, really important part of the future. It allows you to make the best decisions, and again, you're going to get support. Just a little bit more on how, okay? So from a perspective of us working together, I love to see people's faces. I can't do this over the telephone. I really cannot work with you if I can't see your face. So the beauty of today is that we have technology, and just as you're watching me on this video today, you are also going to be able to see me over the computer. So it doesn't matter whether we're together in the same room or not. I can still work with you as long as you've got access to a computer or a phone and you can get onto Zoom. Zoom's really easy to use, and I can see you and we can have time together. The only disadvantage of my clients working on Zoom is that they sometimes need to be in a private space. Sometimes they need to be in a quiet space. So just bear that in mind if you want to work with me over Zoom. I will happily see you face to face. I'm here today in my apartment up in Bewdley, and it's a great space for me to meet with you. It's private and it's somewhere where we can work together. So I'm more than happy for you to come here and be with me in Bewdley in Worcestershire, and I also have a space in Stourbridge where I can see you. So whatever the choice is, just make sure you can see me face to face and we can work face to face. The first thing that you're going to achieve is that you are going to go on a journey of self-discovery, okay? This is a really important part. This is the foundation. You need to discover who you are, who you've been, and how you are thinking, how you are feeling, and how you are reacting. And that can seem a bit crazy. You know, people can say, yeah, I know I'm not in a good mood, or I know I'm not feeling very, very happy. What they don't always know is how they've got into that state in the first place. And that can be the biggest problem. What is it that's caused them to feel unhappy? What is it that's caused them to be in a bad mood? Is it somebody else, or is it just their own thinking? The thing that I'm going to teach you about is about your emotions. Emotions are so important, and the emotions can get shifted so quickly and so easily just through thinking alone. You can be lying quite happily on the sofa, maybe watching the telly, and all of a sudden a thought can pop in your mind, and you can suddenly think maybe about work or something that might have gone on last week in a relationship, and all of a sudden the mind can start thinking, and the emotions and the feelings can come up, and you can start to feel niggled about those kinds of things again. And that's the thing we've got to uncover. Many of my clients that come to me find that all of a sudden their mood can just change throughout the day, and they can just not feel as happy as when they started the day. And it's because that they've encountered a thought, and that thought process is to do with a historical belief. So you need to discover your hidden self. This is one of the things you are going to be achieving when we work on your transformation journey. You are going to discover so many things about yourself. You're going to discover how you're thinking, how you're acting, and I'm going to just enjoy so much supporting you to understand how, by creating self-awareness, improving your own self-awareness, things are just truly going to change for you. You'll notice that the words I'm using are connected to the garden. Growth and growth in the garden is really, really lovely to see. We've all seen how when the flowers come out, things start to look beautiful. And that's one of the things that I want to do with you. I want to make sure that your life feels beautiful again. Beauty is actually one of my values, and whether you connect with the word beauty or not, it's important for me that you work to creating that beautiful life, that happy life, that life that just feels so much better. For me, when things aren't working very well, things can feel very ugly, things can feel very unsettled, they can feel very messy and untidy. And beauty for me is about almost having that relaxed feeling. You know, when we've all been out looking over that beach, or looking over that field, or looking at that view. Wouldn't it be great if that view of your life just felt so much more full of ease, full of joy? All those kinds of things you're going to get to feel and experience all of those things again by working on your own 200 acres. I find that many clients come to me and they're actually sat in what we call a fixed mindset. I'm going to do a whole lesson around mindset. I'm going to teach you around what the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset actually looks like. Having a growth mindset is at the root of change. What you don't realise is that we are conditioned. We're conditioned by our programming. We have a subconscious mind, and I'm going to teach you all about your subconscious mind. I'm going to teach you how it's running those historical programs. When we think about your mindset, we need you to have a growth mindset. We need you to be operating from a new belief system. We need you to be actually thinking about trying new things, experiencing new things. Look, I'm doing this video today, and this really is a new thing for me. I'm not used to being behind a camera. I'm used to having people in the room, so it's quite strange. So look, if I can do this, you can go and try new things. And I'm going to be encouraging you to try new things. Having a growth mindset, going and trying new things, experiencing new things, and maybe even reaching and achieving those dreams that are just so important for you, the things that maybe you've never even thought you could achieve. They are all possible when you make the mindset shift. So there's lots to teach you about mindset. Mindset is going to be really, really important in this journey. The one thing that came to mind when I think about digging out the weeds is, if you walk into a garden, if you walk into any garden, maybe just walk into your own garden today. Have you ever noticed brambles? Have you ever noticed those weeds that come up? Have you ever noticed how some of them just kind of spread and they keep choking things? The thing that I noticed about the garden where I lived is that you can come along and you can chop off that weed and you can think it's gone. But unless you go down and you dig the root out, unless you get that root cause, then what's going to happen? It will continue to grow. It will come back again. And that's exactly the same with the mind. We've got to dig out the root. We've got to find the reason, the belief, the thought that's making you believe that the thing that you're doing that you're not really happy with is actually causing you pain. Whether it might be that you're smoking, you're drinking, whether you're eating too much, all of these things are absolutely solvable with transforming me and looking at actually doing some personal transformation work. We can reprogram our minds. We've always been able to reprogram our minds, but we've not always realised it. We actually continue to learn. We continue to learn right until the day we die, from the day we're born. And we know this is true now. You've only got to look at science. If you've ever witnessed anybody who's ever had a stroke, for instance, you know, the whole parts of the body can shut down when the brain experiences a stroke, but people recover. And just as they recover and they reprogram their brains, we can still reprogram our neurons in our brain. We can still reprogram our thoughts, and we can change the patterns of behaviour. So I don't want to tell you too much about this program, because after all, this video isn't there to teach you everything. It's here just to give you some insight, hopefully to get you excited about working with me, hopefully to give you the confidence to understand that I am the right person to help you. The one thing I just want to share with you before we finish is really about thinking about nurturing your own intuition now. Thinking about creating that rare version of you. This can be the hardest part of transformation, is actually creating a vision and working towards that vision. Because after all, you've been in this state for a long time, and how do you truly know what it feels like to be a better version of you? How do you truly know how you're going to feel when you feel better? How do you truly know what you want when you might be stuck in a mess at the moment? So I'm going to be there to help you. I promise I will give you my commitment to support you and take you through this journey. Whether you're learning remotely, whether you're watching any training packages, or whether I'm giving you exercises to do at home. Transformation is possible, and transforming me is what I had to do. So I would encourage you, now you've committed to working with me, and even if you're thinking about whether this journey is still right for you, whether you've still got doubts, I promise you, you won't be disappointed with the results. I've changed so much. If you saw who I was 4 or 5 years ago, you wouldn't believe the journey that I've gone through. You wouldn't believe how much anxiety, you wouldn't believe how unproductive I was, you wouldn't believe how angry and cross that I was all the time. And truly those things have gone now. I'm not saying I don't get emotional, I'm not saying I don't get hurt by things, but I actually know how to control it now. And that's the release piece. I know how to not get stuck. I know how to change and shift really quickly. If I go in a low mood, if I go in a bad mood, if I find myself getting triggered or getting cross or frustrated, I know how to shift. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with you. I'm going to help you to make those shifts, to know yourself, and to truly find your 200 acres. Because your mind is so undiscovered, just like the hidden garden that I found myself in Cornwall back in those early days. It was a beautiful garden, and so many parts of the garden had been left unattended. So many parts of the garden had just got weeds and were being throttled and were overgrown. And I know your mind could well be overgrown at the moment. I know you've got thinking that really isn't helping you. So just allow me to take you through the 200 acre journey so that you can discover your life, the life that you are meant to have, the life that you are meant to lead. I'm going to teach you how to pilot your own life, how to be in control, how to just get everything in balance. These are all important lessons, the lesson of balance. And all of this is completely possible. So thanks for watching, thanks for taking the time to listen. I hope you enjoy what I've had to say. And of course, look, if there's any questions, you know how to contact me. You've got my phone number, you can email and you can message me. Just please stay in touch and please stay committed to you.